Hi everyone, it's Charlotte here and hello, you can see me today. I've dyed my hair if anyone's wondering. But anyway, this video is all going to be about the third part of the updated DIY cage. There's not really that much of a difference between the last part and this part, but in this part I'll probably go and do an overview of the whole cage afterwards, but I'm going to show you what I did different from the second part, which is, if you had watched that part, which I suggest watching and watching them in order, we had the idea of doing cupboards on the doors. Now, cupboards on the doors, cupboards on the front of the cage, like where the storage was underneath, and it's been a few months and it's just not really come to fruition, and also there's a lot of stuff that's gone on at the moment, and cupboards are just going to be too much work. And also, thinking about it practically, a cupboard means obviously I have to open it and move out the way, and instead of, like, if I used a curtain for instance, I could just either move the curtain slightly or put my hand through it, which would be much easier to access all of their stuff. So I decided to go with the curtain idea. I used to have, in my previous DIY cage, I used to have a curtain, so I'm used to that, and I've known how to obviously make one and also fix one. Now, the difference between the curtain and here, which you can kind of see here, there was a slightly different process to fix it to the actual cupboard, because I wanted it to be a little bit more sturdy, because on my old cage I had like a netting wire, and it was kind of like a bit slack in the middle, so I didn't really want that. I didn't want it like gaping in the middle, so I decided to go for a wooden one. You can see those two. I'm gonna have to put perspex on this side at least of Finley's, because he keeps biting the bars and wanting to get through. So I may end up actually having to use some more wood and separate it like completely so they can't see each other, because he seems to get a little bit, he just wants to really get into the other cage really, and it's kind of like mildly stressing him. But I want to see how the perspex goes so he can't chew the bars. You can see he's just trying to sniff her. Anyway, this is a totally different video. So I'm going to now show you the up close of the curtains and how I did it. To start with, I purchased this toile fabric, which is like a pink with a cream base, and I absolutely love toile. Always wanted to have like a room wallpapered with it because I just think it's beautiful. So obviously I got the pink one, and I thought it would go nicely with the pink paint on the side. So I got this one, and this was from Amazon. It was about £10 a metre I think, so it wasn't too bad, and I only had to get 2 metres in the end. My cage is like probably, it was about 3 metres 20 down the long length, and this added section is about 70 centimetres, so it's about 4 metres. But the way I did it was splitting it, because the fabric is quite wide. I was able to split it in half, and then I had more metres for what I wanted to do with it. I'm sure there are curtain tutorials on YouTube as well, if not on Google. They're just like big rectangles really, and it depends what length you want. But on this one, which is about 60 to 70 centimetres wide, this curtain, I did about a metre, and I had a bit of, you can see it's pretty gathered. It's more gathered at this end at the moment, but that's what I did. So the way these are joined are with these Invisifix sockets. Sorry, my dog's just coming in, so his little nails are on the thing. They're basically like these little caps. Button, do you have to? Basically these little caps, and you can actually push the inner bit out, but I'm not going to do that right now. This is the spare I have left over, because I got 3 packs but I needed only 5. So you just screw it into wherever you're going to do, and then you just put the bit of dowel or whatever you're using to have actually as curtain rod, and then on the other side you just screw in it, and then you can remove this goldy bit and put it over. It has it all on the back actually, which might help more than me explaining. But these are about £3.50 each for a pack of 2, so they weren't the cheapest, and if I had known that I would, I don't know really what else I'd done, but I just thought it was quite expensive for what it is. So I went for the brass because I like to have brassy kind of stuff. So just use a screwdriver to screw those in, and they come with the screws. And there you can see where it's been screwed in, and then the dowel is just resting in it. On the other side of this one, I've actually ended up, if you can see, you can probably just about see there. There's like a little, there's my finger, a little screw, and I've like, it's quite a long one really, and I've screwed it into there because there wasn't a bit of flat wood that I could just put another one of those on the end. So the dowel at the moment is technically resting on there. I want to make a more permanent solution to that, but at the moment that's the way it is. So, but I did that to all 3 sections. So you can see there, so this one, and then it all goes down the end as well. So that's really it. And to cut the dowel, I used a mini saw, which I will just show you now. So I just used this mini little hand saw, and this cut the dowel really well. I just like had it supported by my other hand and used this, and it was really quick and easy. It was much quicker than I thought it was going to be, so I'm very happy with that. I'll now show you the overview of the curtains and the whole cage. So those are the curtains as an overview. The only thing that I don't like about the curtains is that where it pleats, you can see like little gaps, because the wood at the front, they're a little bit, come out a little bit shorter than I'd hoped. And that was my fault for not allowing for the dowel to take up a little bit of the length. But I'd rather them be a little short than a little too long, because otherwise they'd be like hanging and draping in a weird way. But the only issue is that I don't like, you know, like those gaps. But that's it, that's the only thing. And I think it makes it a lot tidier in here, and it looks a lot neater. And the cage in itself looks really nice with it. I think it's come out really well. I'll give you an overview of the cage now. Okay, so I'm going to give you the overview. So as in the other videos, this is a 2x6.5 cage, this particular one. In my first part, we had originally built it as just one cage because Finley was living with the girls over there. Unfortunately, things didn't work out with him and Daphne, and there was just too much stress with them, so I had to separate, hence the divide. But this is a 2x6.5 cage, and it's a nice size for 3 pigs. If ideally I would give them more, because I always want to give them as much space as I can, but obviously since the divide we've had to split it in a fair way. So the split is down the middle, but these girls have this extra 2x2 section, and so it makes it a better space for 3. And then I have these 2, which is Tabitha, who's just in that tunnel, and Finley here, and they're a pair. He's neutered, so don't worry, I'm not going to have any babies. But this is a 2x4.5 size cage, which is a nice size for them too. But again, if I could give them more space, I would. But unfortunately, in now the cage size, and that I've got 2 cages, it's a bit more difficult with space. But they do have the lofts, as I've shown you in the last part. So these lofts were handmade, and we still need to sort out this perspex. And yeah, so they have this extra little loft space, which they do really enjoy. Now, as you can see, there's a few poops up there on their fin. Hey? That's how he lays on cuddle cups for some reason. He doesn't like to cozy up in them, he just likes to lie on top of the back of them. But there you go. So again, that's all painted, hand painted by me. I mean, there are a few decals, like the little mice there, that aren't by me, and those birdies there, but a lot of the like the clouds and the rainbows and the grass and stuff is all painted by myself. So yeah, at the moment we've got this CNC grid divider, but as I've mentioned before, I want to put some perspex in the middle instead, and possibly have to block it up. I'd rather not, because it's, you know, lets light through, and it's nice for them to see each other. Finley at the moment, he's just a bit more anxious, but we'll have to see how that pans out. Then, as you can see, there's more of the decals and stuff, but I'm super happy with this cage. It's aligned with tablecloth lino on the bottom and just taped to the sides. I want to get a better solution for that, but it's difficult with having to move them all out and do it again, so we shall see. But that's that really. So the whole cage is complete, and I'm just happy that it's finally done. And we've got an Arabella who thinks I've got food, and a Daphne too, and a Clara sitting at the top, and she's very hard to film, isn't she? Do I get a kiss? Oh, thank you. You're very sweet. But yeah, that's it. And Arabella absolutely loves that toy. You can see one of the blackberries has fallen off, hasn't it? Do you want another tickle? No, I'm not a food. You can't eat me. You can't eat me. Well, you could, but you wouldn't like it. But yeah, that's it. You see little Finley there in his cuddle cup. And Button in the corner. Hello. Oh, he's going to come in now. But yeah, that's the cage. What do you think of it, Button? Do you think it's good? But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the finished look. All of the guinea pig stuff is now under that cage. I've downsized a hell of a lot of stuff. So I feel much better. It feels a lot neater. And underneath, I'll just show you quickly behind the curtains, but I won't go into more detail because I am going to do an organisation video. But there's just a lot of organised kind of stuff, and I've recently done a full organise, although you can't really see very well. Let me show you this side, it might be easier. These are all our beds, this end now. But I'm really, really happy with how it's come out. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this set of 3 videos and took some inspiration. And if you do make any guinea pig cages similar, I would absolutely love to see. So please do either tag me on Instagram or go to my Facebook page and send me a message or post a photo. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall speak to you in my next one. Bye everyone.